Frekvenca za logistiko slovenskega logističnega združenja.
So, Ms. Cristina Martin Lorenzo, your presentation, the title was Collaboration in Digitalization of International Trade with Blockchain Technology, Best Practice. So tell us about it. How did it start? What do you do?
Well, thank you so much for this interview. I'm so happy to be here in this Slovenian Logistic Conference. Our conference was about collaboration in between different stakeholders using technology. Which kind of technology we use? Blockchain and artificial intelligence. And for what? Because nobody is going to use technology because it is trendy, no? Mm-hmm. They are going to use technology because they save money, they efficient processes. So what are we doing here? We have built a platform to connect the different stakeholders that are taking care about a shipment. For example, importers, exporters, freight forwarders, airlines, shipping lines, or even authorities and for different countries, no? Mm-hmm. And 2 years ago, we started talking with CargoX, that is a Slovenian company, by the way, that are doing electronic document and also transfer data to customs authorities in order to collaborate. No? Mm-hmm. So in some part, the platforms are competitors, but we want to show everybody that even competitors can collaborate to add value to the final customer. So in our presentation, we have shown how Usyncro has connected CargoX in order to, with an only single sign-on from our platform, they can use CargoX facilities.
Mm-hmm. When you started your presentation, you started with the sentence that you actually decided for the dark side of technology.
Yeah.
What did you mean?
Yeah. You know, I was a traditional businesswoman. I built my own freight forwarder company 21 years ago, no? A regular freight forwarder that helps customers to move goods from one side to another. But I'm chemical engineer and I love technology. And I made a master, and in this master they start telling me about artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain. And when you have a company, it's very difficult not to think how those technologies can help to your business, no? So even having a traditional company, I decided to go to the dark side of technology to disrupt the way we are doing processes in freight forwarding.
Mm-hmm. So the dark side, I thought maybe blockchain is not so well known. Maybe this is the dark side. This is the black box, or what do you do? What's the blockchain? How do you explain that?
You know, blockchain is not only cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. That you know that all the world around crypto is like a black box, and nobody wants to talk too much about that because of the fraud and those things. But blockchain has capabilities that is transparency, traceability, scalability, and automation that are the perfect match with the supply chain pain points. No, so why we use blockchain? We use blockchain not because it is trendy. We use blockchain to make the traceability and transparency about data and documents in supply chain. Mm-hmm. No? So by using blockchain, for example, authorities could be pretty sure that all the documents and data that they have available in the platform has not been modified by anybody. No? So this is how blockchain can help to the business. I'm going to put you a real example. Imagine you are an insurance company and I invite you to the platform, and you can see from the beginning till the destination all the stakeholders that are making things with the goods, and they upload, for example, photos about the packaging of the goods, the warehouse that they have used, whatever. And imagine that something happens with this shipment. They will have real-time information about who are the stakeholders that has been participating in that, and also photos about the packaging and so on. So for the insurance company, the process is completely transparent. Nowadays, they need to, let's say, ask once the thing has happened in order to obtain details. Nobody wants to send details after something has happened with the shipment, no? So for that, the insurance company bonifies for this transparency the 30% of the insurance cost to the customer, and the customer share data from the beginning, even if they do not know if something is going to happen. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. This is a use case of blockchain, for example, that shows that everybody can win money in that sense, and for being transparent in sharing data.
Cargo X sold this system, blockchain system, to the customs of Egypt, and they are talking now to Uganda. So why is Europe not so willing to take this technology? I mean, who do you sell your product to?
Well, you know, when you are a startup, it's very difficult to be prophet in your earth. No, this is something that sometimes is difficult. Even, they have been very successful with Egypt authorities, and I think that they are going to be with more authorities little by little. But there is another important thing, that is that countries that are not very evolved in terms of digitalization, they do not need to pass through all the steps that, for example, in Europe, we have done the past years, no? So they can adopt disrupting technologies without doing all the steps, no? And I think this is the way Egypt authorities, Uganda, or Middle East authorities are looking for the future.
So you said that collaboration in sharing the data is a big thing, is a big issue.
Yes, because, you know, in logistics, we move critical data. We have data about our suppliers, about prices, about the different routes we use to move goods from one side to another. This is a strategical data, and people are not comfortable to share with everybody. So for me, data governance is key. And that's why, for example, in our platform, we have developed a visibility matrix. So every one of our customers can decide which data to share and with whom, and also which are the documents that are going to be available for everybody. And not only that, if you invite different stakeholders to your shipment, you can decide if those stakeholders can see each other, so that you will be pretty sure that you do not share information that you do not want to.
So what about this green technology and green data and green issues that we're not implying as we should?
Well, you know, blockchain also has a very bad, let's say, knowledge about being sustainable. Just because they think we use huge amounts of energy to use this technology. I must clarify that there are two ways of using blockchain. For example, there is an algorithm that wants to be the first to make the block, and this is super energy consuming. This is not very sustainable, but there is another way of doing a blockchain, that is to calculate this hash with no hurry, let's say. And this is energy consuming like a regular database, no? So the way we are using blockchain is like a regular way of calculating the hash. So we are not energy consuming like this.
Like Bitcoin.
Yeah, like Bitcoin, for example. You know, another thing that we are trying to do is to do blockchain for dummies. You know, nobody needs to know which is the miner, the gas, which kind of algorithm we are using. So this is very easy to use. It's like sending an email and edit a file. So, for example, in Bitcoin, the miners are fighting to obtain the gas, no? To be the quickest one, and this is super energy consuming, for example, but it's not our case.
Well, the case is just the ledger is untouchable. There is a ledger.
Yeah, that's the feature. Yeah, the feature is that the immutability is done. and nobody can modify. If you modify something, the community will know. So we avoid the fraud in that way. And for us, this is the perfect use of blockchain.
So how did you start the collaboration with Slovenian company Cargo X?
Oh, it's a long story, We are competitors, and we are in the same events, presenting more or less same things. And also we were in Fiata, issuing the electronic BL, both companies. But I met Peter and the CEO of Cargo X, and we start joking how it could be if we collaborate, no? And well, at the end, we decided to go ahead because we think that everybody talks about the collaboration, but nobody collaborates, no? And what about if we collaborate and show everybody that we can do that, even if we are competitors, just because we need to add value to our customers. Imagine that there will be several platforms around the world. Imagine a customer that needs to make the link to each one of those platforms one by one. This would be a nightmare, okay? So we decided to go ahead to make this link, even without taking into account the commercial business model, just to show everybody that we can collaborate. And we did it. We have several common customers, and we talk with them, and we propose a single sign-on to using Usyncro, send the asset number to the Egypt authorities, and they say, okay, this will be super helpful for us. And that's all. We did it, and we are quite happy.
So collaboration is also the key word of this Congress.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how to enforce it, or how to invigorate collaboration.
And associations are key, because it's very difficult if you do not be in this environment to decide, okay, I'm going to ask my competitor to collaborate. It's not so normal, no? So associations are key to show real cases that works and to change the mindset. Just because a freight forwarder is an intermediary that do not own ships or planes or whatever, and that with digitalization, the knowledge is super important, but the intermediaries need to evolve. And for that, associations and events like this are key to show that we need to evolve our business, that we need to evolve the way we interact with our customers, and we have a super knowledge to add value to our customers, and this is key.
You come from Spain. Would you have any advice for Slovenian government? Is Spanish government supporting logistics, maybe more than Slovenian?
Well, the first thing I did when I decided to go to the dark side of technology was to talk with the government, with the customs authorities, with Pilar Jurado and Nerea, that is now the head of the of the tax authorities, and they made me a commitment letter in order to go ahead with this project. So I present the project in the European funds in order to obtain some resources, and we start developing the platform. After that, we have evolve digital corridors in between different countries, and the authorities has always support ourselves, and also everything that we propose for being more digital, to make pilots and to engage with other authorities, they have helped me every time.
So where do you see the future of logistics in 10 years regarding this digitalization, blockchain, or whatever comes next?
I think that digital corridors are key. At the end, the customers need to have efficient routes for their goods, and they need to have data in order to take decisions that are driven. So supply chain needs to be digital and needs to be interoperable in between different systems, because in my vision, the governments will need their platforms. So in that sense, European Union has put the European data hubs with federated platforms that are going to be, if I'm not wrong, in 2035. Imagine. So in that sense, governments will have their platforms, and the private sector will need to have systems to interchange data with those platforms. So I think the logistic documents will be digital, and everybody will be connected.
So, Ms. Cristina, Martin, Lorenzo, thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you.